folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So Maxis Monthly just happened today, and it was much better than I was expecting actually. My expectations were pretty low, I didn't want to be disappointed, and thankfully I ended up being the complete opposite of disappointed. And funny enough, even some stuff that I talked about in recent videos that I thought just would not happen, actually are happening. So let's start off from the beginning. So SimGuru Graham and SimGuru Chowder were on stream, and they started off with a bang with one of the things that I was talking about in yesterday's video, where I was like, oh, it'd be nice if they did this, but they really actually did do it, and that is a roadmap for what to expect with The Sims 4 in the coming months. Other games like Rocket League and Star Wars Battlefront have done this, where they just give a general outline of what to expect in the coming months without spoiling every little thing, but just saying like, okay, yeah, there's going to be this stuff coming soon. So there's going to be one of each pack type coming within the next 6 months. So that covers from now until October 2019. So one expansion pack, one game pack, and one stuff pack.
One new stuff pack. One new stuff pack.
Okay, well, my hope for stuff packs to be gone forever extinguished. I'm really glad that, yeah, it looks like we probably are going to get an expansion pack in June after all, and a second game pack this year as well. That's still really awesome. And since the roadmap only covers until October, don't lose hope for a second expansion pack this year. I still think that's happening. Usually the fall expansion comes out in November, so that's just barely outside that window. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did do that. They're just like, surprise, here's another expansion pack this year. Or maybe not so much of a surprise if you're like me and really expecting it, but still, just like another one where it's like, yeah, we didn't say it before, but it is coming. And I'm not sure if them just outlining the next 6 months is a hard and fast rule, because, I mean, they couldn't say this stuff before, but now, thankfully, they're allowing a bit more transparency. But what is stopping them from saying, here's our roadmap up until the end of 2019? They could have just said that instead. I mean, it's just 2 extra months, right? So, yeah, I'm starting to think that they could have probably said what's coming until the very end of December, but decided not to. Though another side of this, I think, is that it could be in relation to their fiscal years, because with EA, their fiscal years run from April of the present year until March of next year, so it's not like your typical calendar that would run from January to December of the same year. It's a little more confusing than that. And it should be interesting to see the order in which these packs come out, because even though Graham mentioned an expansion pack, a game pack, and then a stuff pack, that doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's going to come out in that specific order, because he didn't say anything along those lines. But I do think the expansion pack at least is the next thing, because I think in terms of paid DLC, we are in a quiet period right now, and that usually is followed by an expansion pack. So yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I don't know about the game pack and the stuff pack, but we'll see. But bringing things a little bit closer to the present, the SimGurus also talked about a new content update that is coming out next Tuesday on PC. There is going to be a little bit about consoles as well, but I will talk about that later. But for PC, we are getting another new career type, and that is focused on freelancing. There's 3 types: programmer, writer, and artist. And these work pretty similarly to the acting career from Get Famous, if you're familiar with that, though there isn't any work location that you travel to. But it's still similar in terms of how you sign up with an agency and then you get to choose from a variety of different gigs at your own leisure. What you're seeing here are the gigs available for writers. I don't think it's going to be the same every day, so there might actually be more than what's being shown here, but you can see there's different ones that have different payouts and need different levels of writing skill, so they're actually starting off with getting paid to write top 10 lists. They also showed off some new build mode items and create a sim items as well, so you can see some of them right here that these 3 sims are wearing. And I really love the new office set, like the desk, the chair, and the shelf. It really reminds me of custom content that a logical simmer would make. But yeah, that's definitely a good thing in my opinion. I think this will really fit into a lot of spaces. And it's something I never remember to bring up in videos, but whenever I decorate an office, every single time, I'm just like, man, we really could use more desk chairs, so I'm really glad that we're getting a new one, and for free as well. And with these gigs, it's not guaranteed that you're going to succeed. Whatever work you turn in might end up being rejected, so definitely keep that in mind. And here's a look at gigs that you can get as an artist. I love the one that's 100% definitely legal job, as well as loading screen splash art. And here's the one for programmers. So there's ones where you can make mods, which is nice, and another custom merch website. I guess that's just a reference to YouTubers having merch and that sort of thing. And even saucy dating app, ooh, and a small mobile game with big dreams. I also like the little robot head clutter that's there on the desk of the programmer. That's pretty cute. Some really interesting little clutter objects too, not just functional ones. One of the other decorative objects is this hand here. I'm not really a huge fan of it, but it is kind of funny. Whenever I see a sculpted hand, I keep thinking of the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, I don't know. It's just Infinity War is stuck in my head. And then once you do have your work done, it will appear in your inventory, and then you have the option to rename it if you didn't like the name that you gave it the first time, or send to the client for approval, and then it'll either be approved or rejected. But thankfully, in his case here, it actually does get approved. Where they say, approved, this is exactly what we were looking for, keep up the good work. And you still do get promoted to higher levels like you do with a normal career in The Sims 4, and you can get some reward objects as well. So another interesting thing they're doing with this game update is that one of these reward objects is a laptop. Yeah, wow. I was pretty surprised by this. You may remember my video from a few days ago where I was ranting about laptops and was hoping to see them improve because I was really disappointed how they were with Strangerville, and I'm pretty sure I did say at one point that with the amount of effort that they put into the laptops, which I feel was just the bare minimum, it might as well have been a free object instead of being restricted to a game pack that not too many people might want, since Strangerville is very niche in nature. But yeah, now we're actually getting the laptop for free after the fact, which I find a little strange. It does make me wonder if this update was actually supposed to come out a few months ago, but got delayed for whatever reason. So there's what the new laptop looks like, and it even has a chroma key swatch that glows. Very typical gamer stuff. I love it. I just really appreciate those little details that really makes the Sims world more in line with the current culture. It's just like one of those things, especially like say 10 years from now, we can look back on The Sims 4 and we see things like this and it's like, yep, that's a very 2019 sort of thing. But what I like most is not only just that you can have a laptop in your game without having to buy Strangerville. I think with it being included in the base game now, it also raises the chances of them possibly improving laptops in the future, because out of all the complaints that I had about them, I really hope they can upgrade the functionality so that you're not limited to using laptops within the limits of your lot. And one other thing related to freelance programming is that SimGuruGram tweeted one morsel of info we didn't show off in the stream. The freelance programmer reward is not an object, but a new interaction. They'll be able to overclock computers to speed up completion time of all programming interactions. So yeah, a neat little detail there, and something a little bit different from what you might expect. And here you can see the freelance artists doing their thing, and I like how she's using the digital sketchpad object that came out with the Get Famous update, because that was also made to go with the style influencer career, but now it's also being used for freelance artists. So instead of using the easel, they are using this, and I also like the new end table here. It really matches the desk nicely too, so yeah, I'm glad we're getting another end table. And now you're about to see the reward object that you get for maxing out the freelance artist career, which is some leaning art. And it does look pretty cool, I will say that, though it looks like the two pictures are one object and I'd rather have them separated because, well, at least it's not as annoying an issue now because we are able to size objects down and not just size them up. But yeah, I'm wondering how much the mileage may vary with this, since by default it is really big. We also got a look at one of the new badges that you can get for maxing out your freelancer career. In this case, looks like it's the programming one. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room, which is the plain white shelf. Yes, finally we are getting that, just as I hoped we would get in April. Though Graham did say that's the only new swatch we're getting in this update, though it did kinda sound like he was hinting at the possibility of more coming.
And I'm gonna go ahead and set expectations right now. This is the one new color variant coming in this update. We are not updating a range of objects at this time. But you know, based on the response by the community, it sure seems like it might make sense to do more of those in the future.
Seems like a popular thing.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
And then for consoles, Graham did mention a little bit about that. So next week, console's getting an update too, though it's not all this stuff that you just saw. Unfortunately, yeah, updates on console are still going to be a little bit behind. But consoles are finally getting keyboard and mouse support. I think this was announced all the way back like in summer or fall of last year, so it's good to see this finally being put out to the public. But here is one note from SimGuru Legacy on Twitter. Small note for the update next week. Initially, you will still need your controller for the press A/X to start screen. Once you have passed that screen, you can go full mouse and keyboard. So yeah, you still need your controller for a little bit, but you can go full mouse and keyboard pretty quickly, so I don't think that's too bad. And one other thing that he confirmed that was not in the stream is that the Lunar New Year content that we got on PC back in February will also be in this update. Also, you may remember that it was leaked a little while ago that we are going to get Spa Day on consoles on April 16th. They did not announce that on the stream, but I would expect an announcement within the next couple of days since April 16th is already next Tuesday. But before I wrap up this video, I do want to mention one other little detail that they snuck out just after the live stream ended. So after SimGuru Graham and SimGuru Chowder said goodbye, they went to like the usual hashtag The Sims 4 that they normally end their streams on, but then they brought the game back for a little bit. And it was on the main menu screen, and there's a little arrow that appeared on the right hand side of the screen, and when you click on that, you can actually cycle through the various animations that they've added with the expansion packs and the game packs. And consoles have actually had this for a little bit, so initially I was confused. I was like, wait, what? Did they just randomly put up the console version? But no, that's actually making its way to PC as well. And as SimGuru Legacy says here, good eye, the console team built the feature for mouse and keyboard on console and just so happened to work on PC and Mac too. So I'm really glad about that, because one mod that I've really loved keeping in my game is one that automatically cycles through the main screen animation. So I guess I don't really need it anymore after this update, although I kinda like the autoplay that it has, but sometimes it's a little, how should I say it, like a little glitchy looking, but I'm glad that at least for people who don't use mods, they will be able to see all of these pack animations again, because I really like all of them personally, and I do feel like it almost made it a little bit of a waste that it would only ever show the latest one and never show any of the previous ones again after a new pack has come out, either a game pack or an expansion pack. But overall, I think today was pretty great. I'm glad that we got a roadmap for the next 6 months, And I'm pretty excited to be checking out the PC update that's coming out next week. I will do a video about that. And I think it is pretty nice that they're doing this freelancing feature because it's not quite something like we've had in previous Sims games. Like, yeah, Sims 3 did have the self-employed feature, but it's not quite the same. So it is nice to be seeing more things coming to The Sims 4 where it's not just trying to imitate what we've had in the past, but is also doing something a bit new. And that wraps up another Sims info and thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about all the news that I talked about today, and be sure to leave a like or a comment or even subscribe because it lets me know that you like my channel and my videos, and it helps you keep up to date with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!